Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 319, Nobody. My name is Mr. Nobody.
Hello, Mr. Nobody. My name is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I wondered how long it would take for that joke to be made.
Not a joke.
I guess it's not a joke. You're right. I'm sorry. It's your identity. I apologize.
It was.
Your identity is not a joke.
It literally was, though.
I know.
Do you?
I do know that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right.
Yeah, nobody dot
That was the website.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which came from the fact that it's on message boards and forums across the internet for 10 years. I was Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
Pretty much on all of them. If you ever had an online encounter with a Mr. Nobody, good or ill, it was most likely me.
Yay.
And then at some point I decided I should probably just use my real name, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, just put my opinions to you know, an actual person's name.
Yeah, I feel like that's an adult thing to do.
Yeah.
There comes a point in all of our lives, at least I hope, where we grow up enough to be like, you know what, I'm just going to own this, and this is who I am.
Yeah.
I know, some people don't get there.
Nope.
And they suck.
Yep. And then some people still have shitty opinions and use their real names.
That's true. Yeah, but you know what? At least we know who they are.
That is true.
They are owning their shits.
So yes, I am Eric, the former Mr. Nobody. Sometimes if Mr. Nobody was not available, then it was just Nobody.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So this is your biopic.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty accurate.
There were some things that I remembered you having told me happened. And then there were definitely some things that I did not remember at all.
Was it the time I told you I made lasagna?
Yes.
That is 100% factual.
Yes, you told me that. The drudgery of going to a job,
Yep.
I believe, has also come up in discussion.
Yep. Missing the trash, that's happened.
Uh-huh, oh yeah. Who hasn't? Who hasn't missed the trash?
Well, apparently Bob Odenkirk, action star, misses it every fucking week.
Right.
Fucking put it out the night before.
He's busy. He's busy hating his life.
Which then also begs the question, do they just have trash piling up at their house?
That is an excellent question. Maybe he takes it with him to work. On the days that he misses it, he just puts it in the back of his car.
But he doesn't. He takes a bus to work.
Fuck! Okay, then I don't know. I don't know.
This movie has a lot of plot holes.
Wow, I mean, right off the bat. Wow. Oh, what a strange movie.
It is like famous comedian Bob Odenkirk said, "This John Wick movie is pretty good.
Uh-huh.
I wish I could star in it." But I am not famous comedian Bob Odenkirk of Mr. Show fame.
Right, I mean, he's also a Better Call Saul.
He is a Better Call Saul.
So, you know, he's got a little bit of dramatic chops. He's just trying to branch out.
Yeah.
Trying to do like a Matt Damon kind of thing.
Just 30, 40 years later than...
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Better late than never.
True.
Good for him.
You know what? To him I say bravo.
Yes. Yeah. Bob Odenkirk can do no wrong.
Yeah. So it occurred to me while watching this, again, action movie starring Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
That it shocked me that Better Call Saul is where he had the heart attack and not this movie.
Right. Yeah.
What is up with that?
I don't know. I mean, there's some stressful shit on iCal Sal.
Sure.
So, who knows? It does. You're right. It does seem like maybe what happened on the set of Better Call Saul was lingering, like it was delayed from the events of this movie.
Could be. Because I just kept imagining, it's all stunts and it's the magic of movies, which is, I think, a couple weeks ago we talked about Adrian Brody and him being in the movie Predators.
Yeah.
And I remember people giving him a lot of shit for being in that movie because, he's just kind of a scrawny dude who, shouldn't be an action star.
Yeah.
It's movies. They can make anybody look like whatever they want.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, Adrian Brody is not on an alien planet fighting aliens. Bob Odenkirk is not really kicking the ass of 7 giant Russian dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I forget what I was listening to. It might have been the episode of Scott Hasn't Seen about Pretty Woman, where they were talking about, why is Julia Roberts a sex worker? Why doesn't she just go to Hollywood and become a famous actress because she's beautiful? It's a valid question, if you really think about it.
Right?
Why are any of these people doing the things that they're doing? It's more believable that Bob Odenkirk is in this scenario, I feel like. Because he's a relatively normal-looking person.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's looking kind of fit in this movie anyway.
Yeah.
He did the work.
He did.
He's fine.
He understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Did I use that right?
I think so.
I don't know. No, he's a professional.
Yeah.
Professional actor, so he's paid to be in good shape.
Right. It's the magic of movies. If Bob Odenkirk wants to be an action star for a movie, just fucking let him.
Absolutely.
And someone did.
Yeah.
And we get this movie.
Yes.
Not necessarily a comedy.
Yeah, it's funny parts.
I laughed quite a few times, yeah.
Yeah, there's something inherently ridiculous about Bob Odenkirk and also Christopher Lloyd doing these things.
I mean, I did not know up until this point in time that I needed to see Christopher Lloyd brandishing shotguns and just kicking everybody's ass.
Yes. Agreed.
What a delight.
Yeah.
You go, Christopher Lloyd. If I'm 80 years old and I get the opportunity to just run around shooting people in the face for pretending money, I absolutely would do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially, I can't imagine he's ever had a role like that before.
Probably not.
Yeah, he's usually just kind of the squirrely comedy guy.
Yeah.
As most people in this movie, maybe except for the RZA.
Right. You mean just RZA?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's how he's credited anyway.
That's true. But of course, the RZA,
Thank you.
is, I think, more of an action star than anybody else in this movie.
Right.
Having starred in at least one of the Man with the Iron Fists movies.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's a second one. I don't know if he's in that one or
Okay.
not.
I'm not familiar with those.
Okay. Man with the Iron Fists, I believe he wrote and directed and stars in.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's a kung fu movie starring RZA.
Sure.
Russell Crowe, Lucy Liu, and Dave Bautista.
Okay. All right. How old is this?
Mid to late aughties.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. It's an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bautista plays like a Colossus type character.
Nice.
Like he turns his skin into organic metal, gold metal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Gold, obviously, to avoid the lawsuit.
Of course,
I assume, yeah.
And it's banded looking, sort of like, the famous Marvel character that we just mentioned.
Right, of course, yeah. All right.
Yeah. But anywho.
Yeah.
Although, I guess Connie Nielsen is in this. She's kind of an action star-ish.
Kind of.
She's Mrs. Wonder Woman.
That's right. I actually forgot that she was Wonder Woman's mom. Mrs. Wonder Woman. Is there a Mr. Wonder Woman?
A jar of clay.
Yeah. Not Zeus?
Or Zeus, depending on which run you read. Depending on which run offends you most.
Right, exactly. God.
Balloon art.
Yeah, no, I actually did forget that she was in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mostly, when I see her, I think of Gladiator, which is the first thing I ever saw her in. And she also had an extended stint on Law & Order Special Victims Unit.
I knew that. I figured that's probably where you knew her best from.
Yeah, definitely. I believe Mariska Hargitay was on a maternity leave, so she was undercover for an extended period, and so Stabler got a new partner, and it was Connie Nielsen.
I am not as well versed in the Law and Order universe as you are.
Sure,
but I have seen random episodes because it is on 23 hours a day on some channel,
right?
And I have seen her partnered up with other non-Stabler characters on that show, so I feel like she's sort of in and out of that show occasionally.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know a ton about her character arc.
Yeah. Well, who gives a fuck?
She's not Stabler or Benson.
Exactly.
Or Detective Finn Tutuola.
Or Munch.
Or John Munch.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace. It was the Monday after Richard Belzer passed away. USA, which shows Law and Order Special Victims Unit all the fucking time,
sure,
had like a tribute marathon of random Munch centric episodes, which was really nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he's a man who has his own sort of insular multiverse.
Yeah,
he played Munch in everything.
Yeah,
I think even somebody pointed out that there's even some proto Munches out there.
Okay,
before Homicide, I think is where his first turn as Munch came from.
Yeah,
which is a show I've still never seen.
Oh, so good.
It's available nowhere.
Yeah, I ordered the DVDs.
Yeah.
And I think they'll be here in like 2 months.
Maybe we should switch formats again.
No.
Okay. Well, then can I borrow them after you watch them?
Absolutely. Right. Yes. By all means.
Nobody.
Nobody.
I enjoyed the crap out of this movie.
Me too. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there were parts I couldn't watch, but otherwise it was really fun.
I mean, you're a little squeamish, but I don't think anything was that bad.
No, I guess it wasn't. I guess the part where a guy gets a broken glass jammed into his eye I did not care for that at all.
Yeah, I know you sort of turned away at the tracheotomy scene.
I did at that, yes. Yes. Don't care for that at all.
Sure. Usually I get squeamish around eye trauma, but for whatever reason that didn't seem to bother me in this movie. I think they just they didn't show in its full glory,
true,
so to speak. So I had nothing to get squeamish about.
Yeah, I think maybe in that instance I was more squeamish at the implication of it,
right?
Which is awful. A very good imagination.
Sure. That's why you're the writer.
Right. Allegedly.
I mean, who else do I turn to with grammar questions?
That's fair. That's true. No better use of my imagination than grammar. I imagine the answer is THAN, not THEN. Nobody.
Yeah. So it's an action movie.
Yeah.
With some moments of comedy, starring unlikely action stars, and it's a goddamn delight.
Yeah, I really had no idea what it was.
Me neither.
Going into it.
Yeah.
I think I thought that Bob Odenkirk's character was just like a guy
Right.
who gets pulled into a thing that he's not equipped for, maybe, and has to figure out how to be an action star.
That's sort of where I thought it was too. The poster kind of implies that as well.
Yeah. It's just him getting punched.
Right.
So maybe that's a failure of the marketing.
Could be. But yeah, spoiler for the movie, turns out he's a secret badass.
Yeah. I mean, he's not great at it because he's out of practice.
Well, sure.
At least at first.
Yeah.
But once he works the kinks out, yeah, he's a badass.
Apparently this is not necessarily a true lies situation. I guess his wife kind of knows.
Yeah, I was confused about what the nature of that was. Like, it seemed like she knew.
Yeah.
But maybe not all of what he did.
Right.
Yeah, it was a little confusing.
Yeah, I sort of got the implication that she was almost even 100% a part of it.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah.
But she has truly left the life behind, and he just has an itch, because for about 30-40 minutes of the movie, it is just toxic masculinity and just questioning his own masculinity and being emasculated and just being a real cuck about things.
He's such a soy boy. What a beta. I mean, he's deep undercover. No, the toxic masculinity thing is interesting because I thought about it during the bus sequence.
Yeah.
I thought about how Fight Club-esque it was that he just like these dudes get on the bus and he just decides he's going to kick the shit out of them.
Right. Well, it's because he geared himself up
right
to just really rip into some people and just bailed because they didn't necessarily deserve it.
Yeah.
And they also did not do anything that actually provoked him.
Right.
So it starts out, we see a montage of basically him just living his humdrum, mundane life.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty good sequence that I've often thought about using in stories of my own and never got around to because I am lazy.
So I have a question about that sequence, actually.
Okie doke.
We only see Monday through Friday.
Uh-huh.
Is this a universe in which Saturday and Sunday do not exist?
It's a universe in which Saturday and Sunday is used for resting, like people who work Monday through Friday usually do.
But what does he do for fun?
I don't think he does that. I think
what does the family do for fun?
He's got his little man cave where he listens to jazz records.
Okay.
He probably
just does that all weekend?
I think he just hangs out there and just
ignores his family?
Probably.
Or his family ignores him?
I mean, they don't seem very comfortable with each other.
No.
The only one that seems to actually like him is his daughter.
Yeah. And she's a child.
Yeah.
Children are stupid.
It is true.
No, I thought, I wanted to see more of what his life was.
Right.
And I feel like giving him a weekend
right.
would maybe defeat the purpose of the movie.
See, the way it started, I thought, it was going Monday through Friday or whatever, and I figured the weekend's coming. That's when shit's going to get real fucked up.
Okay.
But no, it just kept looping.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where Friday and Saturday went, or Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt he's a churchgoer.
Probably not. Yeah. No, I'm sticking with the theory that this is just a universe where weekends are not real.
So it's like yesterday.
Yeah.
Where the Beatles never existed.
What? Your favorite Just a Band? Is that 3 episodes straight where the Beatles have come up?
Probably. Let's keep the streak going.
All right. Next week, Get Back! All 8 hours of it, I think? I don't know. It's super long.
We can just watch Backbeat.
Okay, what is that?
It was like a movie from the 90s, like about the Beatles pre-fame.
Interesting.
Featuring like their original drummer or bass player. I don't know who.
Okay.
The other guy.
Gotcha.
Stu Sutcliffe.
Okay, sure.
Is that a guy?
I've never heard that name before in my life.
I think he's a Beatle.
Okay.
Or was a Beatle.
All right.
Good to know. They replaced him with Ringo and or Paul. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Did Paul play bass?
Paul played bass.
Okay.
But like maybe he started out on guitar and they're like, hey, we got to get rid of this other guy. You got to move to bass.
What did George play? Just
guitar.
And then Jerry, or what's his name?
John.
John. There you go. Thank you. I seriously just couldn't remember John Lennon's name.
And I'm the one that doesn't like him.
No. I thought of. You know what? This is Scott Aukerman and Adam Scott's fault. Because I mentioned George Harrison, and then I started thinking about Talking Heads, and then I thought of Jerry Harrison, and could not think of John Lennon's name. But he also played guitar.
Yes.
So they just had 3 fucking guitar players.
Maybe.
And maybe an occasional bass player from one of them.
Well, yeah, Paul, I believe,
Okay.
was pretty much the bass player.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I never really thought about the instrumental makeup.
Yeah.
That's too many people. 4 people's too many.
I think that's the perfect number for a band.
I don't know. Okay.
You got a rhythm guitar, you got a lead guitar, you got a bass and a drum.
Okay.
And any variety of them could sing.
All right. Fine. No, you're right.
Now, you throw in 5 people, that guy better be playing a way different instrument.
Yeah, like a marimba or something.
Right. If it's just another guitar, fuck that.
Kettle drums.
You do not need 3 guitars.
No.
Yeah, you do not need 2 percussionists.
Yeah. That's true. Marimba's out. Maybe he's a horn player.
Keyboards even?
Keyboards?
I'll take keyboards.
Sure,
yeah.
okay.
Nobody.
Nobody. I really liked the soundtrack to this movie.
I did too.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of classic songs and some jazz. It's enjoyable to hear.
So I have a question for you.
Yo.
Needle drop.
Okay.
How is a needle drop different from just a song that's used in a movie?
I don't think there is a difference.
Okay. I feel like I hear people use that term like in reference to a specific thing.
Right.
And I know I could probably Google it, but I don't care that much. But I thought of it while we were watching the movie, like, is this a needle drop?
Right. I guess maybe, and I am talking 3,000% out my ass here.
Sure. That's what we do here
True.
on Viewmasters.
Our guest last week was very shocked at how unstructured we are. She said she enjoyed it, but her own podcast was actually scripted.
Wow.
And they would get reprimanded if they went off book.
That's a little fucked up.
Right?
Like, what is that?
I mean, yeah, I would much rather, have a good time than stick to any kind of format.
I mean, I'd write a scripted episode of this if you wanted to try it.
I mean, maybe.
We do that as a Patreon bonus.
I mean, one time we got together and read a script, and I never did anything with it. Still sitting on my hard drive.
Aw, good times.
Yeah, I guess I should maybe... I don't know, I've said this every year for the last 10 years.
It comes up every now and then. I wouldn't worry about it at this point.
All right. Maybe someday. Maybe in some sort of just barely put together format.
Perfect.
I'll do it.
Perfect.
But anywho. Yeah, so I would say maybe a needle drop. Okay, so a couple weeks ago, my lady friend and I watched It Chapter 2.
Okay.
And I saw that in the theater, and I loved It Chapter 1.
Mm-hmm.
and so super excited about it. Chapter 2, saw it in the theater with the girl I was dating at the time, and part of my opinion of it was that it just wasn't as good as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is because all the adult actors are recognizable movie stars and kind of takes you out a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's one instance in particular. Have you seen it?
It's been a while, but yes, I have seen it.
Okay. Where I forget even which character it is. It's the one who has the Munchausens or whatever.
Okay.
He goes into the basement of the pharmacy and sees the leper, and then it vomits on him or whatever, and just in the middle of it, for no fucking reason, just a bit of the Carpenter's Angel in the Morning plays.
Okay.
Completely takes me out of the movie. Made me hate the movie for the rest of the movie, which was still an hour and a half long after that.
Oh, jeez.
To the point where I was really not looking forward to rewatching this, because I just really hated that one moment. I did like it better this time around, but still, that one point just was what the fuck is that? Why did it happen?
Yeah.
To me, that's a needle drop.
Okay. Okay.
Where it's just in the middle of a scene for almost no reason, there's just a song that plays.
Okay.
To sort of backdrop whatever is happening. Where I think that's the most egregious use of it. Other movies obviously have done it better. Anything Scorsese has done, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, just me talking out of my ass.
Sure. No, this is give me a better idea of it versus just just music.
Right. I feel like the music that is played in this movie is just a song is playing.
Yeah.
And some of it is even diegetic. Like it is a car turns on and that's the song that's playing.
Yeah.
Or he is playing his records as he destroys his house and 7 dead Russian mob goons.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But long story short, I don't fucking know.
Listeners, if you know what a needle drop is, because I'm certainly not going to Google it, please tweet at us at ViewmastersPals. Hopefully not with a link to a Wikipedia page. Just explain it, please.
In your own words.
Yeah.
Single-spaced essay is fine.
Yeah. 5 paragraphs.
Yeah.
Typical thing.
And I think honestly this was just an excuse for me to just bitch about it, Chapter 2 again.
That's perfect. While you were talking about it, I remembered that Bill Hader is in that.
Yep.
And then I remembered the story from this week about how Rachel Bilson... did you see this?
No.
Rachel Bilson did an interview where she said she didn't orgasm from sex until she was 38.
Okay.
Which was about 3 years ago.
Alright.
Which is when she started dating Bill Hader briefly.
Okie doke.
And so everyone on the internet was like, go Bill Hader! Good job, sir. Weird funny dudes get it done. Which I think is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not to brag.
Yeah, it feels like a brag. Anyway. Ladies, make sure you're having orgasms during sex.
Sure.
If you're not, dump his ass. That's a deal breaker, ladies.
Yep. Or at least just tell him. Be
Yes.
honest.
Yes.
Walk it through with him.
Yeah.
And say, or her, or whoever,
whoever.
whatever,
Yeah.
Just if you're not enjoying yourself during sex of any type, talk it over with your partner, and because you want it to be a mutual enjoyment thing.
Yeah. I'm assuming, and maybe this is foolish of me, but I would assume that if it was a woman, that's your partner, that they probably know what they're doing down there.
And again,
So, have a little bit more experience.
it's an assumption, but probably also correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lesbians, if you're listening to this and you disagree with that assumption or find it offensive, please tweet at me at eSeanborn. I really appreciate it. Nobody. Yeah, this movie was super fun.
It really is.
It reminded me of John Wick.
Yep.
It reminded me of History of Violence a lot.
It's been a while since I've seen that one, but yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah. The only thing that I think was disappointing to me is that, you know, we do get sort of a hint that Connie Nielsen's character is more involved or has been involved in the past. I thought maybe she was going to show up and do something
Right.
at the end, which would have been really cool, especially because she has that sort of action-y pedigree.
Right. And she's got the vibe.
Yes. Yeah.
More so than a Bob Odenkirk.
Yeah.
But also, if your movie is called Nobody, then he's kind of perfect for it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was a little disappointed that it was all just dudes.
Yeah.
Like always.
Yeah. You know, like I said, a couple weeks ago, a girlfriend and I watched Mad Max Fury Road.
You guys are just always watching movies.
We are always watching movies.
Jeez.
And like towards the beginning of it, she was just like, "Is this Toxic Masculinity the movie?" And I was just like, "You're about to watch the most feminist movie you've ever seen in your life, so shut up." But the beginning of this movie definitely felt like Toxic Masculinity the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it really lets up from it.
It kind of doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the emasculated, you know, quiet, peace-loving guy ends up being a super violent badass
Right.
who picks a fight with random people on a bus and kicks the shit out of them and is the hero of the movie.
Right.
So yeah, it's
To do it to save girls.
right naturally. Yeah.
Because the plot of it sort of kicks off. His house gets broken into by two armed robbers, and then they take his money, and he doesn't do anything, and then he just sort of gets shamed for not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
And then that unleashes his secret badass once he finds out that his daughter's kitty cat bracelet is stolen.
Right.
And now he's on a mission of vengeance.
Which honestly, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm behind that.
It does lead to one of the funnier moments in the movie.
I wondered if that was what was going to happen. Like the fact that they just jump to the conclusion that they stole this bracelet.
Yep.
No, he was just looking for an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then when he tracks down the robbers and he ultimately doesn't do anything to them. He's got the urge, and so all he wants to do is just unleash it.
Yeah, which is problematic.
It's very problematic, and again, it's entirely a metaphor for masculinity.
Yeah,
or just the way men behave, which we do not condone.
No, absolutely not.
But it does make for a fun movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
it makes for stories.
We can separate
fiction from reality.
Fiction from reality, exactly. Yeah. We use our real names on the internet.
Exactly.
What if this movie was inspired by Mr. Nobody?
The comic book character?
The you.
Oh, the me?
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, okay.
Yeah. the me version of Mr. Nobody is long forgotten.
Him beating people up on a bus is not you arguing with strangers in the Newsarama forums.
Nope. No.
Not you not supporting creators.
No. I think I did my not supporting creators under my own name.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Then I take it back.
Yep. Mr. Nobody did once shame a bunch of people into being homophobic.
Okay.
So, that was fun.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
You shamed them into being homophobic?
My words don't work right.
I was like, what the fuck did Mr. Nobody get up to, Eric? Yeah, I made all those people be huge assholes to gay people. I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I did do that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Less enlightened time.
Yeah. But then I shamed them for it.
Right.
Because, even as a stupid 20-year-old, just leave people alone and let people be.
Yes. Good man.
Which, if people would just leave people alone, Bob Odenkirk wouldn't go around murdering everybody.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. Very true.
And
also
we
in
have
this
to
movie.
buy a new house. And also in this movie. I have heard stories of his temper on Mr. Show.
I believe it. I feel like Scott Aukerman has maybe told a few of those.
Yep. They seem to be friends.
Yeah.
Just today I saw a tweet from Aukerman about Bob Odenkirk's new show, Lucky Hank.
Oh, I want to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep seeing ads for it during Law and Order. Not a joke. Factual statements.
Didn't think you were joking.
Yeah, okay, good. I also really enjoyed the end sequence in the sort of Home Alone-ified factory.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Reminded me a little bit of Violent Night,
okay.
Which I don't know if you've seen yet.
I have not yet, no.
That's got a very strong Home Alone vibe, although closer to it because it's Christmas.
Right.
There are children involved. This was definitely the John Wick version of Home Alone.
Right. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Guy's a genius.
Yep. I also I thought about Garth Ennis quite a bit while watching this.
I can totally see that, too. Yeah.
Particularly the focus on minds.
Yeah.
And face toward enemy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, this was a reprehensible romp.
Yeah. I feel like I thought a lot about also the movie Shoot 'Em Up.
Okay.
During this, again,
I haven't seen that one. No.
All right.
That's Guy Ritchie, right?
No.
No.
I don't remember who directed it.
Okay. It was Clive Owen.
Clive Owen,
yeah.
Monica Bellucci, and Paul Giamatti.
Okay.
And it is. I heard it once distilled as basically what if Bugs Bunny was an action star.
All right.
And it's very suitable.
Okay.
And it is just basically super comically over the top. And I remember watching it for the first time and thinking, I needed this.
Yeah.
Like, this is just dumb fun. And if there was anything that I wish nobody was a little more dumb.
Yeah.
Just a little more over the top. It's plenty over the top. But like, I don't want to say self-serious way, but kinda.
Absolutely, yeah. I wish it had winked a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's still funny, and I think part of the appeal for me, anyway, is just knowing who Bob Odenkirk is.
Yeah.
And thinking, well, he's not this guy.
Right.
And then seeing him do all this stuff. Like, stab some fuckers a bunch of times.
Yeah. I will say a part that made me really, like, I don't remember if I laughed, but it made me chuckle for sure, is in the opening sequence, it's him being questioned by the police, and he has a cat and a can of tuna.
Yep.
And a can opener. And so, like, throughout the movie, I was like, well, where does the cat come in? How does he end up with this stuff? And he gets through the whole fucking movie, no cat, no tuna, no can opener, and then after everyone is dead, just randomly, here's a cat.
Yeah.
And he goes and gets some tuna and a can opener, and it felt like a joke. Like, we know you've been waiting for this. We have to fill this in before you get to the beginning, so here's a cat and some tuna and a can opener.
There's a hint of the cat earlier.
I guess there is a hint, yeah.
There's something living in the ceiling of the factory that he works at.
Yeah.
And then buys with gold.
Right.
From Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Who, good to see Michael Ironside.
Yeah. So is this in the Cobra Kai universe?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, what if Bob Odenkirk showed up on Cobra Kai and just kicked everyone's ass?
As Hutch Mansell.
Yes.
watch it again.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd probably watch it, period.
Yeah. Really recommend the first season,
That's
at least.
what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah, it was very entertaining.
Yep.
It's on HBO Max. Probably not anymore by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, check it out.
I'm sure you can find it elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's available on disc.
Yes.
Physical media.
Physical media.
Yep.
Always.
Yep. What's making you happy this past week?
Oh, gosh. I feel like there has to be something. I think toys.
All right. Nothing wrong with toys.
Yeah, well, and also it's Robin Week still.
That's true.
On your Instagram and your website and your Patreon.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying Robin Week.
Good.
So that has brought me a lot of joy.
I'm glad.
But
Glad
also,
someone's liking it.
yeah. But also, yeah, toys.
All right.
Did
you get anything?
I didn't get anything. No, I just the people who created the Long Box Heroes figures have been posting pictures of like the hand painted prototypes of them now that they're physical.
Nice.
And they've posted pictures of them like with superpowers figures and other figures in that scale. And they look awesome, and I can't wait to have them in my house. So I think that's probably the thing that's making me the most happy this week is the thought of impending toys.
That is awesome. I honestly thought those were already out like a long time ago.
No,
Was there a delay? Or?
There was there was pre-orders.
Okay.
And then just factory stuff and getting through production has
supply chain,
etc. You know, COVID, whatnot, what have you. So yeah, so they should be out later this year.
Sorry to sidestep you mentioned the COVID. My girlfriend was texting me that her kids don't know how buffets work.
Okay, interesting.
And it's probably because for 3 years of their very young lives, like for her daughter, like half her life has been in quarantine.
Right.
So they've never been to a buffet before, or at least it's been a very long time. And I guess like her daughter does like dance or whatever.
Okay.
And so they've Irish dance.
Gotcha.
So this past week has been busy.
Okay.
Because
of St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I guess the dance class went to a buffet after a performance, and then like somebody spilled a drink on like her mac and cheese, and the daughter was just like, like I couldn't eat it because somebody spilled my drink on it. And girlfriend said, "Well, why didn't you just go get another plate?" And daughter just stared at her, total disbelief.
What?
Yep.
I can see how that would be sort of a mind-blowing concept.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, listen, buffets are sketchy pre-pandemic.
Yes.
I don't think you could even pay me to go to one now. But, this is, I feel, like an important part of a child's life that has now been taken away.
Yeah. That's too bad, really.
Anywho.
What's bringing you some joy this week?
Celebrities.
Okay. They're just like us.
They are just like us. Sometimes drunker.
Tell me your tale, Eric.
So I work at a hotel, and we've had celebrities in the past, and I'm not a celebrity guy. I'm definitely not a star fucker. I've met Kenny G and kept my cool.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah. Who hasn't?
Like I do get a little flustered around like comic creators.
Sure.
But that's because that's a thing that I am super invested in.
Yeah.
And once had dreams of becoming, so I don't react well.
Yeah.
I'm awkward and weird anyway, so me and comic creators don't mix well. It's usually me thrusting a book in front of them and just having them sign it and me skulking away quietly.
Sure.
But this past weekend, David Koechner The Office and Anchorman fame, was doing a couple of shows at the local Funny Bone. And we have a contract with them. Most of the comedians who perform there stay at our hotel.
Nice.
And he was there. When I came into work on Friday night, the girl working said, "Oh, hey, we've got like a famous guy staying here." I'm like, "Okay."
Be more specific, please.
He's like, his name was like Dave, like Kosher or something like that. And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, he's like a comedian guy. He's been in like, I think he's in The Office or something." And I was like Keckner, like bald guy. She's like, "Yeah, that's him." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And she's like, "Yeah, we talked, and he invited me to like his show tomorrow night, so I think I'm gonna go." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "He's been buying a lot of beer tonight." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "But I think he's in for the night." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And then she went home, and I just did my job per usual. And so I'm sitting at the computer doing whatever, and so we have a little like convenient store kind of thing. We've got like this doorbell that like sits and like chimes whenever somebody walks into it.
Okay.
Which is super fucking annoying, and every time I hear it, I roll my eyes and I mutter to myself, "Fuck." Because it means that I'm gonna have to interact with somebody.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And there is a reason that I work 2 nights a week the night shift there, so that I do not have to see or talk to anyone. So then this tall guy comes up, and he puts like a frozen meal down on the counter, and then I look up, and it's David Keckner. And he then asks for 3 of we sell little like airplane bottles of liquor.
Okay.
He asked for 3 Jim Beams, and I say, "Okay." And we keep them locked up. I go into the back, I get them. We were out of Jim Beam, but we had a different type of whiskey.
Okay.
So he was fine with that. And he was like, "Charge it to my room." I'm like, "Okay." Because Funny Bone is paying for everything. Why
Right.
does he care?
Hell yeah.
And off he goes. I'm like, "Okay." Yeah. And by the time I got back out to him, there was like other customers checking in or whatever. So, whatever.
Yeah.
And, part of my whole bane of life, I've mentioned it already in this episode, is don't bother people.
Right. Yeah.
Especially a celebrity.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to be bothered.
They're just trying to live their lives.
Exactly. He's off the clock.
Yeah.
He's holing up in his hotel room and drinking, and I wish most people would just do that and not bother me.
Right.
So like, okay, well, I got to see David Keckner. Great. Got a story to tell.
Yeah.
So he comes down a second time about an hour later in a completely different change of clothes.
Okay. Sure.
With another frozen meal, and he asks for vodka this time. So I go into the back and I get it, and he's like, the phone's ringing. He's like, "Go ahead and get that." Okay. I answer the phone, hang up. He's still just standing there, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm not going to get this opportunity again, probably."
Yeah.
There is a movie that he is in. We reviewed it on Gutter Trash long ago called Cheap Thrills that he is one of the stars of. And I thought, I bet everybody who ran into him this weekend probably said, "Oh, I love you in Anchorman," or "I love you in The Office." Maybe a rare person said, "I loved you on The Goldbergs."
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? But I was like, you know what? I'm never going to get this opportunity again. It's like, hey, I don't do this often, but, if you don't mind me saying, I thought you were great and I loved the movie Cheap Thrills. And he just stared at me. He was like, leaned in real hard, like put his fist like up against me, like made me fist bump him. He's like, "Best fucking thing I've ever been in."
Aww.
And then just proceeded to tell me stories about the making of that movie, and just like how great it was, and how upset he was that nobody had ever seen it. And then he talked to me for like 10 minutes or so. It was pretty fucking great.
That's awesome.
And then like somebody came in to check in, so he skulked back up to his room, and that was that. He did come back one more time to ask for more vodka, but we were out because he cleaned us out.
Good man.
Yep.
Good for him.
It's like, we don't have any more. He was like, yeah, it's probably for the best. Just went up to his room. But he was going to be there through the whole weekend, so Saturday night, I was like, you know what? Like, I may not get the chance to see him again. Like, he's probably going to be doing his show and probably just heading straight to his room afterwards. I don't know. Or, I'll just miss him if he does come in. Like, But on the off chance, I brought my Blu-ray copy of Cheap Thrills to see if he would sign if I got a chance. And like I said, I'm not going to pester anyone or anything like that. So around 1:30, he comes rolling in with the guy who was his opening act at the Funny Bone.
Okay.
And he sees me behind the desk. He's like, "That's the guy!" And he looks at his buddy, and he's just like, "This is the guy I was fucking telling you about. He's seen Cheap Thrills. It's like the best fucking movie I ever did." And again, he is wasted.
Of course. Yeah.
He looks at me and he's like, I don't remember your name. If you told me, I said, like, I'm Eric. He's like, Eric, man, like, he comes around the desk and he's like, did we get a picture yesterday? I was like, no. He's like, we're getting one today. And I'm like, well, like, since you're bringing this up.
Yeah.
It's like, I brought this just on the off chance. And he was like, abso-fucking-lutely.
That's awesome.
And his buddy, he's like, yeah, I'll take the picture, and so, so I'm still in a wheelchair at my other job, because it's just easier to deal with my job that way. So he like pulls up a seat to like sit next to me in the picture. I was like, no, I can stand. He was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. Because I was like, if I am going to show these pictures to people or I'm going to look back at them, I don't want it to be, oh, that's that time that I was in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I want it to be, that's the time that I met David Koechner, and he was pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
So he signs my Blu-ray. We take a bunch of pictures. He puts his hat on my head. And he's like super close to me, and like I can just smell the booze on him. And he's like, are you a filmmaker? I was like, yeah, I've dabbled. He's like, so you get it? I was like, a little.
Yeah.
He's like, man, we're just two travelers. Just we cross paths, and we just we knew we had a connection. We knew we'd get along. We know we're there. We're just acknowledging each other. And we can cut through the ego. We can cut through the bullshit, and we can just say we're interesting men. I was like, okay,
damn right you are. Damn right.
So he and his buddy then buy some beers, and then they sit out in our little breakfast area, which I usually just fucking loathe.
Yeah.
When people do, but I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this.
Right.
And like they're like, it's okay we stay here. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And he was like, this is the VIP area, and I was like, it is tonight.
Aww.
And I was like, you know what? As long as you aren't noisy and I don't get any complaints, you guys are fine. And they weren't. And honestly, I was listening in on their conversation because they're 20 feet away from me.
Right.
They're drunk and loud. And in between, the one dude just playing music. They were talking about, the creative process and comedy and doing stand-up and writing specials. And Koechner was talking about, his career path and how he fucked it up. And
wow.
Just how he spent 30 years trying to figure out how to write himself. And, probably getting super drunk, a lot, especially in Ohio, David, where you got picked up for a DUI.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe that's not the right path, especially not when you're also telling stories about you being an AA. Okay. But, yeah, it was just very interesting and revealing, but he was never bitter about anything, and he was surprisingly very progressive. like just certain things that came up, and it was just an overall pleasant encounter.
That's awesome.
Then when he and his buddy like bailed, he came over to me and just thanked me again and shook my hand and just again told me about that we're just interesting, smart men, and we shouldn't be ashamed of it. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and then he like I said, he signed my Blu-ray and signed his name right on the black part of it, so you can't read it. So it just says "Love, Eric."
Aw, that's nice.
But it was just it brought me a lot of joy to just have that positive of an experience, and I'm sure he doesn't remember a single thing about it. But to me, like this will be a story I will tell to multiple people, as I just did.
Right? Yeah. No, that's fantastic. That's really cool. I'm glad for you that you got to meet him and had a good interaction with him.
Yeah, like I have no like preconceptions about him. I thought maybe like I had read something like he did something problematic or said something problematic, so maybe that colored me a little bit on him.
Yeah.
But like I couldn't find any evidence of that beyond like he did get picked up for a DUI in Cincinnati.
Okay.
But like he was super pleasant. Surprisingly so, he had no need to be. Like we could have just kept it all the way I treat every other customer and the way every other customer treats me.
Yeah.
The fact that he is well known, and he's like one of those guys that like every time I've seen him in something, I've always been oh hey, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not rushing out to movies because of him,
right?
But every time he shows up, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
this could be funny.
Well, I mean, you sort of put yourself out there too. You said something nice and something you figured that he wouldn't hear often.
Right.
So, yeah, no, I think that's really nice.
I mean, it's like like I've met Bruce Campbell a few times and like not had much opportunity to talk to him or anything like that, but I'm sure like every single person that comes up to him is like, oh, I love Evil Dead, and of course I would too.
Yeah,
because I fucking love Evil Dead.
Yeah,
but like had I the opportunity, I'd probably try to figure out something else.
Yeah, I love you as Pizza Papa.
Right? Yeah.
Enjoy those royalties.
Sure. I figure someone like that probably wants to hear about the thing that not too many people ever really saw.
Yeah.
And it was a good experience. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to pick a movie?
Yes.
Okay. Little hesitation, but okay.
I've had like 3 movies swirling around. One of them a recent addition as of like 2 hours ago.
Okay. I bet I know what it is.
Yeah. I may not pick that one either.
Okay.
But there's a movie. I'm going to tell you this movie. If you've seen it, I'm going to bail on it.
Okay.
No questions asked.
Okay.
Like whether you say like, I'd be down for that. Like, no, we're not going to do it.
Okay.
There's a movie that I have seen numerous times. I own it on Blu-ray. I don't particularly care for it.
Okay.
And I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm sort of hoping that if you've never seen it, like maybe you can either help me figure out why I don't like it when I probably should, or maybe help me figure out, some sort of angle on it that I'm completely missing.
Okay.
It's a movie called Event Horizon.
I've never seen that.
Okay, it's got Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne, I believe, is in it. It's a horror movie in space.
Okay.
Like very, very heavy sci-fi. I think Paul W.S. Anderson wrote and directed it.
Okay.
Not a particularly great filmmaker,
sure.
but often confused for other people.
Right. For other Paul Andersons.
Yep.
Okay.
Part of the Anderson filmmaking dynasty.
Right. Well, yeah, no, totally down to watch that.
All right. I do not know if it's streaming anywhere, so
okay.
Good luck to the listener on that. All right, yeah. I've been thinking about this for a while.
Okay.
But then you broke your foot, and we didn't get together in person. And
Right.
again, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm looking for guidance with this movie, I guess, because all the elements are there for me to love this thing, and it just never connected with me.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm definitely looking forward to your perspective on it.
I will put on my critical glasses.
All right.
Which are just my regular glasses.
Okay, I was going to ask if it was a different prescription.
No, it's a little sharper focus. Just means I'll actually pay attention.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, Event Horizon.
Event Horizon, yes.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. We'll do that next week.
All right, talk to you then.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.